How do you see yourself when it comes to honesty? Do you see yourself as a trustworthy, genuinely good citizen, or not really? Most people think that everyone out there is either good or bad. And if we create a social framework that kicks out the bad people out of it, we'll be okay at the end. However, we all have the capacity to be quite bad. We can all misbehave if we are presented with the right or wrong circumstances. 1% of people will always be honest and never steal. On the other hand, 1% of people will always be dishonest, pick your lock and steal your TV set. And the rest, they will be honest as long as the circumstances presented are right. If they're tempted enough, they will be dishonest too. Locks on your door will never protect you from thieves. They can always break in if they want to. The locks on your door will actually protect you from people who will be tempted to steal if your door had no lock whatsoever. I stole this excerpt from Dan Ariely's book, The Honest Truth About Dishonesty. Traditional economical models would pledge that humans always act in their self-interest to optimize financial return. However, the breakthrough that we found with behavior economics is that we actually are led by higher forces called cognitive biases. We can actually name these biases, understand how they work, and understand how they act on our own behavior and leverage that in our own benefit. Our buddy Dan, he ran a fantastic experiment back in the US. He got a room full of people and each person would have 5 minutes to solve 20 mathematical problems. At the end, they could shred their piece of paper and report to the crew how many problems they had solved, and they would be paid $1 per problem solved. The shredder was rigged though. At the end, the scientists could check how many problems people had actually solved and just compare with how many problems they reported that they had solved. On average, people would solve 4 problems, but they would report that they had solved 6 problems. They wouldn't cheat all the way in, they would cheat just a little bit, balancing the ratio of acting in their self-interest and still feeling good about themselves. And the world is full of people like this. People who are mostly good, but if presented with the right circumstances, they'll be just a little bit dishonest. This experiment had a twist, by the way. The crew hired an actor that after 30 seconds in the experiment, the actor would report they had solved all of the 20 problems, shred a piece of paper and ask for $20. The actors were clearly grossly cheating and everyone could see them. And what do you think happened here? Most people, they started being much more dishonest, so they would wrongfully report much higher scores than they had achieved, just to make more money out of it. And that happens because of 2 factors. First of all, everyone in the room could see that skewing the results was socially acceptable, that was social proof. Moreover, people would see that there would be no downside to stealing. They would see that they could just skew their score and everything would be the same. Ariely and his team, they run this experiment with people from all sorts of backgrounds, such as lawyers, bankers, and politicians. And what's quite interesting is that, your line of work actually can relate to how dishonest you can be. And that's due to how the environment is set up to foster such behavior. How many times we've seen bankers being bailed out of economical crisis without penalties or any repercussions whatsoever. Or how many times we've seen politicians being completely dishonest due to a geographical distance or projects that are gonna happen 25, 30 years from now. If you really wanna be a better person, take care of the environment. Understand how someone else's behavior can be social proof to change your own behavior. That's it for this week. Comment down here what you think about the science behind dishonesty. And as always, see you next week.